Grand Theft Auto V first launched in September 2013 for Xbox 360 and PS3, and although the PC version wouldn't release until April 2015, it still had over 6 years of modding support. Projects started out fairly small with cheats, new character models, and so on, but eventually mods began to deliver revamped maps, improved visuals, and brand new modes. Some even sought to bring back Vice City and San Andreas in their own ways. Let's take a look at some GTA 5 mods that can effectively remake your experience in numerous different ways. Before we go ahead, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos every single day and your support really helps us out. With that out of the way, let's start. Vice City Remastered. Do you want to go back to a bigger, better, more visually appealing Vice City? Vice City Remastered is the answer. Originally, it was a mod that aimed to improve Grand Theft Auto Vice City on PC, providing new particle effects, completely revamped vegetation, buildings with XD textures, and even some great secret locations and interiors. Vice City Remastered takes the 1.8 version of the mod and brings it to Grand Theft Auto V with brand new models and textures, bump-mapped roads and buildings, spec-mapped windows, custom scenarios, and much more. You'll need script Who-V, a trainer spawning DLC cars, and pack file limit adjuster in order to run it, but if you want to revisit the city neon-drenched setting in higher fidelity, Vice City Remastered is the answer. Vice City. Then again, some fans just want to go back to Vice City as it was in the good old PlayStation 2 days. Vice City has you covered, as it's essentially the same map as the 2002 release, brought over to Grand Theft Auto V with updates to the palm trees and some textures. All you really need is to download 5M, extract the mod into its folder, and use a console command to run it. Though there is a texture pack that will offer higher quality textures for improved visual fidelity, the mod's purpose is to retain the look of the original instead of heavily revamping things. GTA 5 Remastered. Rockstar may have its own expanded and enhanced version of Grand Theft Auto V coming, but in the meantime, it's worth checking out mods like GTA 5 Remastered. This adds over 7,000 new objects to Los Santos, all hand-placed to retain some feel of realism. These can range from props like recycling bins, palm trees, and chickens to new areas in downtown Los Santos, which have more than 300 new objects present. The result is a much denser, more visually rich city, with the recent 2.0 version culling a few in order to improve performance. GTA 5 Remake. Whether one considers it a remaster or remake, there's no denying NB Design's GTA Remake mod is a much more drastic visual overhaul compared to others. Along with improved visuals, it features numerous new objects on top of modifications to the existing vegetation and environments. New weather effects, along with revamps to the quality of reflections and lighting, have also been added. The mod is currently in early access and isn't available for free. One must support NB Design's Patreon in order to access it. GTA Realism. Grand Theft Auto V was praised at launch for its realism and attention to detail, which is still noteworthy after all of these years. But for those who need even more realism in Los Santos, there's the GTA Realism mod. Visually, there are heaps of changes from maxed ambient occlusion on vehicles and props to HDR implementation, depth of field tweaks, and adjustments to reflections. But the real meat is in the gameplay changes, which include a towing service that must be called and paid when a vehicle breaks down, more animals in certain areas, more people on the beach, with some swimming in the water, AI carjackers, tougher cops with canine units, and more. You even have a weapon weight system that limits how many you can carry along with the weight and the ammo. It may seem overbearing, but it delivers admirably on the realism. NATURALVISION Evolved. Another mod that looks to overhaul GTA 5's visuals is NATURALVISION Evolved. Though it initially began as an experiment with ENB Reshade, mod author Raised has since been tweaking a number of variables and textures, along with modifying the weather, with rain in particular looking sumptuous, world textures, tone mapping, and whatnot. The mod's biggest addition is screen space ray trace global illumination. This works with the improved lighting to really make Los Santos shine in a more natural way, whether it's the softness to shadows or the reflections seen in puddles and buildings. Though it's not full ray tracing, obviously. An early access version of the mod launched in May 2020 and is only accessible through Ray's Patreon, but the full version will be free for all players. Visual V. Another mod for tweaking visuals, Visual V presents revamped weather effects and subtle changes like correct movement for the moon. Chromatic aberration and vignetting during gameplay have also been removed, along with dithering from grass. Volumetric fog has been improved, and draw distance on lights is greater, making the Los Santos skyline that much more beautiful. On top of reshade and EMB presets, Visual V also offers options like advanced motion blur, procedural shadows, and dynamic shadows from pedestrian vehicles, among other things. While not the biggest feature list compared to some of the other visual mods, it's still fairly sizable, free, and still being updated. GTA 5 Redux. At first glance, GTA 5 Redux may appear to just be a visual enhancement mod, providing simulated global illumination, new motion blur and bokeh effects, new volumetric lighting, and even adjusting the light pollution of Los Santos at night. But it also offers more than 15 presets for reshade plus ENB, 4K textures, modified handling and damage for all vehicles, a revamped wanted system that provides tougher challenges, improved melee combat, more random events, more variety to pedestrian behavior, the list just goes on. It's pretty nuts overall and still receiving updates. Too many years. Modder Denadwin has created quite a few interesting maps for GTA 5 from Waterworld to the Dead Among Us, but Too Many Years is worth playing first thanks to its atmosphere that channels The Last of Us. It essentially turns Los Santos into a rundown city overrun by vegetation. This is most visible in the massive skyscrapers, but there are even objects like decrepit vehicles and signs for that proper post-apocalyptic feel. The mod has a few updates and can even be populated with zombies, though it doesn't seem like any major new changes are coming up. Still, in terms of maps, Too Many Years offers something unique and different. Complex control. If you crave a Battle Royale-esque experience, but without real players and a roguelite twist, Complex Control is what you need. It has the player spawn in a deadly zone, with various hostile AI and challenges them to survive. You start out with a random character, equipped with unique abilities, weapons, and character skins. Movement speed is faster, some weapons like shotguns have been improved, and gameplay changes based on one's performance via 4 different ranks. As a mod that taps into GTA 5's awesome sandbox while adding some neat little hooks and gameplay mechanics, Complex Control is worth checking out. GTA 5 San Andreas. This mod is fairly old and only serves one function: to convert the San Andreas map into Grand Theft Auto 5. It doesn't go too crazy with the visuals and doesn't have all of the relevant props. Released in September 2016 with no updates, this mod is a trip down memory lane for all intents and purposes, but still worthwhile just to see how far the franchise has come. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and we would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.